It was Christmas Eve in a small snowy town nestled in the mountains. Sarah, a widowed mother of two, had spent the entire day preparing for the holiday. She baked cookies, wrapped presents, and decorated the tree with her children. As the clock struck midnight, Sarah noticed the wind howling louder than usual. Snowflakes pelted against the window, and the night felt eerily still. Just as she was about to head to bed, a loud knock echoed through the house. Startled, she hesitated. Who could it be at this hour, especially in such harsh weather? Gathering her courage, she opened the door to find a man shivering in the snow. He wore tattered clothes and looked exhausted. "Please," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "I need help." Sarah's instincts told her to be cautious, but her compassion won. She invited the man in, offering him a warm blanket and a seat by the fire. He introduced himself as Jacob and explained that his car had broken down on the highway. He'd been walking for miles, seeking shelter. Her children, initially frightened, warmed up to Jacob as he shared stories of his travels. The night passed with laughter, and the stranger became an unexpected guest for their Christmas morning. But as the sun rose, Sarah noticed something strange. The snow outside was untouched, no footprints led to her house. Bewildered, she turned to ask Jacob about it, but he was gone. On the table where he had sat was a small note: "Your kindness saved me. May blessings follow you always." That Christmas, Sarah learned a profound lesson: kindness is never wasted, even when it seems inconvenient or risky. In 1995, a young couple, Emily and Tom, moved into an old Victorian house in the countryside. The house had a charming history, and its previous owners spoke of its unique quirks, including an antique bell mounted in the living room. It was their first Christmas in the house, and Emily was eager to host a grand dinner for her family. They decorated the house with garlands, lights, and a large Christmas tree, making it look like something out of a holiday postcard. On Christmas morning, as they were preparing for the feast, the bell rang unexpectedly. Startled, Emily and Tom looked at each other. They hadn't touched it, and no one else was in the room. "Must be the wind," Tom said, dismissing it. But as the day went on, the bell rang intermittently, always when no one was near it. By evening, guests started arriving, and Emily told them about the mysterious ringing. Some laughed it off, while others felt uneasy. As dinner was served, the bell rang louder than ever, startling everyone. A young girl at the table said, "Maybe it's someone trying to tell us something." Her innocent remark sent a chill through the room. Emily decided to investigate. She examined the bell and found a small inscription hidden underneath: "For Mary, Christmas 1885. Curious, she researched the house's history and discovered that a woman named Mary had lived there over a century ago. She was known for her generosity, hosting grand Christmas feasts for the poor. The bell had been her way of calling everyone to the table. Realizing the significance, Emily decided to honor Mary's legacy. The following Christmas, she and Tom began a tradition of inviting neighbors and strangers who had nowhere else to go. The bell never rang mysteriously again, as if Mary's spirit had finally found peace. This story reminds us of the importance of generosity and keeping the spirit of Christmas alive through acts of kindness. In the bustling city of Chicago, 12-year-old Max eagerly awaited Christmas morning. Life had been tough for his family since his father lost his job, and this year, they had little to spare for gifts. Despite their struggles, Max's mother managed to buy him a small train set from a thrift store. It wasn't brand new, but it was something Max had wanted for years. On Christmas morning, Max unwrapped the train set and was overjoyed. As he examined the pieces, he noticed something odd: a small engraving on one of the trains that read, "To Jamie, Christmas 1982. Curious, Max asked his mom about it, but she didn't know who Jamie was. Over the next few weeks, Max couldn't shake the feeling that the train set had a story of its own. One snowy afternoon, Max decided to visit the thrift store where his mom had bought the gift. He asked the shopkeeper if they remembered who had donated the train set. The shopkeeper, an elderly man named George, smiled and said, "That belonged to my son, Jamie. He passed away many years ago. I donated it, hoping it would bring joy to someone else." Max was stunned. He told George how much the train set meant to him and how it had become his favorite gift. George's eyes welled up with tears. "Jamie loved that train set," he said. "I'm glad it's found a new home where it's appreciated." From that day on, Max and George developed a special bond. Every Christmas, they exchanged small gifts and stories, keeping Jamie's memory alive. This story teaches us that even the simplest gifts can carry deep meanings and create lasting connections. Christmas is more than just a holiday, it's a time for miracles, reflection, and acts of love and kindness. These three stories remind us that the true spirit of Christmas lies in the joy we bring to others, the courage to open our hearts, and the legacy of compassion we leave behind.